to the I-80 Club Wednesday night in the club.
In the club.
Oh, we have a countdown.
That was so dramatic.
Oh,
Jeez.
It really is.
I felt like I needed to be doing a pose or something.
Well, of course you did. We're on video, and there you go. That's what Jack does. It's time for me to do the robot.
I don't know. It felt like I don't know. I didn't feel like I matched the energy of the music with how
Joe
came
says
in with
countdown is so sick. Hell yeah, Joe.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Hell yeah, it is.
If you're listening live, you're a patron. If you're watching live, you're a patron. If you're listening later and you're like, what the hell are they talking about? Oh, you should be joining the I-80 Club, or you should just be hanging out with us live on this Wednesday night. Patreon.com/I-80 Club. As always, Josh Peterson and Jack Mitchell with you tonight.
Actually, Josh, we have a scenario tonight where people might be watching this on YouTube who are not club members, correct?
That's true. Yes, if you were watching after Saturday, by the way, you might be listening after Saturday, and you're like, what? I can watch it? You can indeed.
Now you can.
Go subscribe to our I-80 Club YouTube page. We have started posting our Wednesday shows. We usually post them a few days later. So if you would like to go check those out, you can just click under the live tab and boom, there's last week's episode. There's our interview with John Bishop from last year that we uploaded, and then
Probably
some other
pretty evergreen.
Yeah, there's some fun stuff in there. And then a bunch of other stuff too. So patreon.com/I-80 Club. Well, Adam says, I super hate how YouTube doesn't automatically start the stream when you load it before it starts. It's insane. #minor bitching. That's annoying as hell. That's why we did the countdown, by the way. So then Jack and I got going, and it doesn't. People can kind of, come as they go, I guess, just in case it's being
what. So it just says the stream is about to start and you have to reload it or something.
Yeah, I guess so.
Start.
Yeah. #minor bitching. I feel like that's a very fair minor bitch.
Bitching. Not the major league of bitching. It's like the AA of bitching.
Yeah. Ooh, Kena. Dual screens, I-80 Club and women's hockey. Folks, we love to see that. Adam adds the countdown was clutch. Joe says mine loaded automatically. And Bruce points out that I love countdowns. All of those things are true.
Apparently that's now a that's a technical problem for Adam. Not if it were me, Josh would make fun of me for being old, but we won't.
What did he say? He said the countdown was clutch.
No, Adam said that he didn't automatically start the stream.
Oh, yeah. Well, look, Jack, I'll be honest. When you make a mistake, it seems like an old person mistake. When other people make mistakes, I'm there to give them. Yeah, I'm there to give them grace. As always,
take in here. If this were like an employment situation, I could sue the shit out of you constantly.
Why? For making fun of you?
Yeah, for harassment.
I don't think that's how it works.
Harassment.
I don't think that's how it works.
Ageism.
I don't think that's how it works.
I got the best grade in my employment law class in law school.
Nice. That's awesome.
That's true.
All right. Well, welcome in again. If you are hanging out with us live, we appreciate it. Again, this is our third show to subscribers that we did a boardroom last night, but our third show to subscribers where we're hanging out on YouTube. I think it's fairly obvious by now. Like, this is what we're going to be doing moving forward. Like, we're out of the trial period. Jack, are we not? Like, it seems like everyone's pretty into the YouTube of it all. So
we're pot committed. We paid for the StreamYard for a month, but we're about to invest. We're about to go with an annual investment to show how committed we are to the club in StreamYard. And
hell yeah.
Yeah, that's the plan. That is the plan. So
yeah, we appreciate everyone for trying out this new thing. We have some early thoughts on football season that we will announce as we get closer. We are very excited. We've had a lot of meetings, whether it's with our board room members, Jack, or just you and me chatting. Now that we're on StreamYard, we're there before the show, we're there after the show. Just kind of we chopped it up last night for another few minutes, just kind of talking about stuff. I'm very excited for some of the things that we'll be doing during football season. So it should be a whole lot of fun.
Benj, to answer your question, for those who are this is kind of new. So this is a hidden. For now, this is a hidden. Is that the word? Hidden link?
Yes, unlisted
link on YouTube. So you guys only have access to it because we post it here and on Patreon for you, and it comes out in the email. So you can't search it. Correct. You have to actually paste the link in from one of those places. That's how we keep it, unique to and exclusive to the people who are members. Now, this will eventually go public, and the plan is eventually to move it back to Fridays, which we talked about in the boardroom yesterday.
Yeah.
But this will eventually go public, and then you can find it on YouTube. But yes.
All right.
Can we be done talking about YouTube?
No more YouTube.
He asked a question. I'm just answering the question.
Yeah. No more YouTube. No more YouTube.
I don't ask any more questions. I won't answer any.
So Jack reached out to me earlier today, and we don't always read our text messages to each other, but I do feel like this is a very fun one because you said, "What the crap are we going to talk about tonight?" And so we were throwing around some ideas. One of the things that we discussed was a Chatsack, which then. The worst part about doing Chatsacks is Sam posts the picture of those balls, the hairy balls with an I-80 Club logo. None of us like this.
Speaking of getting sued in the club.
Yes, none of us like this. It's not very good. But yeah, so we figured we would do a Chatsack tonight. You can continue to throw your questions in there. But yeah, that's kind of it's weird. And we were just talking about it before we got going. Jack and I were off the air. Nebraska baseball is in the NCAA tournament. The game is just a few days away. And there's the ball.
There it is.
And I don't really have much to say, and I know you don't really have much to say. So
I hope they win.
Yeah, that's a good take.
That's take number one. Yep, I hope they win. I hope they get through a regional. It'd be the first time in forever that they got through a dang regional. Yeah. I mean, okay, Josh, real quick, we don't have to spend a lot of time.
No, it's fine. Let's do a little baseball.
We're not going to break down, the details of the series like we really probably would football or basketball because I don't know that I can. I know you can't.
What are you talking about?
You can't.
They brought in the Big Ten Pitcher of the Year not in extra innings, but to close the game, and I thought that was the smart move.
You're just saying what happened, but yeah, okay. And
I said I think it was a smart move. Okay. That's a take. Is that not a take?
No, it was good. It worked. They won the Big Ten tournament.
Boom.
So obviously,
baseball.
Way to after the fact take.
I know. I thought that they should have done it before the fact. I stand with Connor Happer on this one.
They've got to win a regional to get this fan base off their ass. I think. I don't think the Big Ten tournament did it. I don't think I have a take. I was going to use this in the other video I'm working on, which is another something special, but I'll share it here. Okay. I think low-key Nebraska baseball fans are harder on their team than any other sports.
Yes.
Than football, basketball, volleyball, anything else.
Do you really? Let me ask you this: do you think that the baseball fan, are you talking about the hardcore fans? Or are you talking about the sidewalk casuals such as myself?
No, probably the harder core ones.
Okay, interesting. Because I have always thought that it was more of the sidewalk casual fans that are harder on them.
Okay, that's interesting. What's your reasoning for that?
Well, I always want coaches fired from the baseball program. I thought Darren Erstad was very mid. I have not it seems like so much of the Will Bolt discourse over the last few years is he really wants to win and he really cares. And it's is that enough though? Is that good enough? It's
they don't care in some of the games.
That's true. And see, I didn't like some of the words that were coming out after the regular season or towards the end of the regular season about the midweek losses and how everyone treats it it's a World Series and Nebraska doesn't. I thought that was a poor reflection of the head coach. So that's a good. I always thought, I guess it was people like me, and that the hardcore ones were the people who are you guys are all idiots.
I feel like almost everyone is just very unforgiving to this whole program. And I think it's because, there's a little bit of football in it, in that there were
100%.
Glory days, but it was unlike football. It was within a 6-year period.
Yeah.
They had a 6-year period of ridiculous glory days. And then they went to the Big Ten, and there was this expectation, even more so than football. There was this expectation when they got in the Big Ten that they were just going to beat ass forever in the Big Ten, because you had a conference that didn't care about it. You had a bunch of schools that didn't care about it. You had a bunch of places that didn't have facilities were the crap. And here we are 14 years later, and they just won their first conference tournament this year.
Yep.
And that's, I think, where I think there's a lot of bitterness that Nebraska hasn't dominated the Big Ten in the way I think pretty much everybody thought they would in 2010. They thought that it might hurt them in terms of strength of schedule and all that stuff, but they at least thought Nebraska would be winning the conference frequently.
Yeah.
And 3 conference championship game appearances, 3 losses. One year there wasn't a tournament and they won the conference, and now 1 conference tournament. But is that the 14th year? Would have been 2010 or 2011, the first year that they would have played
2012.
Baseball. 2012. Okay.
Yeah, so because the school, it was the 2011-2012 school year.
Yeah. So I think that's where it comes from. I think there was just an assumption that this 12-year period was going to be very different, and it never was. And then it's, going in, and the tendency the last 2 years that have been there to lose to teams over and over and over again that it feels like you should be beating. And I think that particularly irks a huge portion of this fan base.
Yeah, Sam says the Big Ten baseball landscape shifted with us entering the league. Indiana, Michigan, Illinois all became larger players nationally than they had ever had before. Nebraska joined when the league began to peak, and Nebraska was on the decline. Yeah, I always found it interesting and unique that, so everyone will say, Jack, that, the league drags them down, right? Like, we've heard that a million times. But I've still, and look, maybe this is just my ignorance to the sport. If you still care and you still pour effort into it, shouldn't they drag Nebraska down show itself more on the national scale and not on the local scale? And by local, of course, I mean conference.
Which is what I said. Yeah. Meaning you're winning the conference, but you're not getting credit for it in your NCAA tournament season.
Because wouldn't that, if that had happened, let's say that in the last decade, Nebraska wins the league, whether it's regular season, conference tournament, let's say it combined 7 or 8 times with a couple years where they do both, but then they go in the tournament and they fall on their faces. That would be a lot easier to deal with, because I think that it would show itself as well, they're in the Big Ten, they're dominating the Big Ten, but the league has brought them down to their level to such a degree that they're unable to overcome it when they get into the tournament. But instead, they have not had tournament success. They pushed a series to a Monday, which was cool because it was Arkansas. They did that, and that was cool.
Right.
But they otherwise haven't had any success. And the conference tournament, they've won 2 conference tournaments, or 1 conference tournament and 1 regular season. So over a decade, they've won the conference twice.
Yep. Yeah. And it's interesting. I feel like Will Bolt in particular, and I'm not I don't know. I hear what I'm saying, not what I'm not saying. I'm not saying Will Bolt has done a completely bang-up job, but he was the architect of probably the highest moment during the Big Ten era, right? In winning the conference and taking Arkansas to the wire. But I feel like
win is a loss.
I don't know. Is it a little weird that this fan base doesn't have sort of the connection that the hometown guy gets that some other coaches have gotten that are hometown guys?
You don't think that they have that with him?
Mm-mm.
Interesting.
I don't know why. I don't get that sense. I don't know why it is exactly, but I don't get that sense. People would err on the side of Scott Frost like crazy, Josh. Right? Yeah. Will Bolt's done a better job than Scott Frost has.
By far.
And I'm not saying, and there are people saying he should be fired for sure.
Yeah.
There are definitely people.
Is it that he's coming at a very particular moment in time where he is following that guy and he is following Hoiberg, who has been a relative disappointment until recently?
I bet people weren't in love with Erstad either, right? Nobody's been super enamored. It's interesting, as much as this program at least in the football world, really gives an extra benefit of the doubt to Nebraska guys, it does not seem like the baseball fan base, and maybe to their credit, but it does not seem like the baseball fan base gives that same huge benefit of the doubt to Nebraska guys.
I mean, I think you hit on it earlier with the level of success that they had in such a short amount of time, and it was super high level, and it seemed like of all of the sports that, when they joined the league, this should have been the one that, continued to have success.
Right.
And so they have.
But even still, right? I agree. They have not duplicated what they did during that really 1999 to 2005 era, right? That 6-year era where they're going to super regionals or the College World Series. On the other hand, the program has still had significantly more success than any of the other major men's programs, even after that. Like they haven't won Big Ten tournaments, but they've still had more success from 2006 to 2024 than men's basketball or football.
Yeah, by far.
I mean, how many?
Again, they've literally won that. They've literally won the league. They've won the tournament, and they've won the regular season.
And they've been to like 6 NCAA regionals.
Yeah,
they've been to a lot of them.
Yeah, so, I think good point from Jordan
State, too. Real quick, Penn State, who they beat on. I was looking it up at that game because Penn State wins that game. They go to the tournament. They haven't been to the tournament since 2000.
Wow. Yeah, Jordan says people forget how bad Nebraska was at the end of the Big 12 era, and then Dave says Mike Anderson is the Frank Solich of the baseball program. Yeah, I mean those are good points in that like it's not like when this is not 2005 Nebraska joining the Big Ten, right? This isn't the 05, 06, 07, even 08 era where they're coming right fresh off of hosting a regional, even though they flamed out in the tournament.
Yes,
this is a few years later because what did Mike Anderson?
07 was probably the end of it. That's probably
Anderson
was coaching.
08 was the last year they hosted, right?
Yeah. Was it 07 or 08? It was one of those 2 years.
Did Anderson even coach 1 year in the conference?
In the Big Ten? I don't think so.
Yeah, it was only Erstad?
I don't think so. I think Anderson had 1 year after that regional year, maybe.
Okay. For some reason I feel like it's like that's where the calendar like it was either he had 1 year or he had Bruce says it was
down out. So maybe
I thought that he retired or did he get fired or did he retire? I thought that was in 12.
He retired. And when did Childress leave? That was the other thing. See, I don't have this committed to memory as good.
Childress, I feel like left before the downfall began
because there was a whole thing.
People thought that he should have been the guy.
He should have been the coach, right?
Yeah.
That was. You're right. I mean, you can kind of trace it to the Solich thing, like the thought was the wrong guy became the coach, which is funny because now they got him on staff, right?
Yeah.
Now they got the guy they wanted.
Yeah, so. Sam says Childress left 06 ? And I'll look that up real fast. But yeah, so because that was always the story, right? That people wanted him to be the one that replaced, and then he didn't, and then he went to Texas A&M in 06.
Yeah.
So literally, he the College World Series team, and then he's gone.
And then a couple years that regional didn't go well when Anderson, and shortly thereafter that he was gone.
Yeah.
And then it was Erstad that whole time. Erstad was a coach here a long time, longer than I realized.
Erstad. Well, wait. When are you thinking that he got hired?
Anderson left in. When did Anderson leave? 2000.
Erstad became the coach in 12.
Oh, so 12. Yeah. Okay. That was later than
he
I
was
thought.
there.
Anderson stuck around for a while after that regional year.
And then somebody Bruce rather, he pointed out, he got fired. So that was that Tom Osborne's, that would have been the second coach that he would have fired because he would I guess that of the big ones. He fired Tim Miles. Well, I guess Callahan, never mind. So he was the third coach that he fired.
And that was and remember Erstad was like a unpaid coach on that team on Anderson's last year.
That's right. Yes, he was an unpaid intern or whatever it was.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I forgot about that.
So
I don't know if we got anywhere closer to figuring out exactly why he doesn't get the grace that you're talking about earlier, but
I don't know exactly, but I definitely feel that way. And I also don't think he's going to – I think they've got to win the regional for that to happen. Like, I don't know how far do you guys think this Big Ten tournament win went in terms of faith in the future of the program under Bolt?
It's a good question. I mean,
and again, I'm reading the tea leaves from what I hear people who care about say.
Matt says it's the midweek losses.
Yeah, that doesn't change anything.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fascinating question because, like, we did a poll question on our show where it was like, what will make you happy? What will be good enough for Nebraska baseball for you?
And I bet it was winning the regional or coming.
Yeah, it was. And I thought, no, it was. I think that pushing a team to a Monday game got more votes than winning the league. And I was like, that's wild.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
But if you win the league, you get hardware.
I know, but they want to get winning the Big Ten. There's still a perception about the conference that it doesn't matter.
But that's like the first step, right? Like, you can't do X in my opinion,
you certainly could.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, yes.
They didn't win the Big 12 all those years.
Yeah, you're right. You literally are able to. They could win the national championship, and it wouldn't really mean a whole lot. But Pete Sam says it, first tournament win in 20 years, like that. I feel
coming
like
out of a regional. Yeah,
I feel like that should mean something. And look, this was granted. This question was posed like 3 or 4 weeks ago, so this was before the well before the tournament, and certainly it was well before they started, getting their asses kicked in game 1, and then had to come all the way back through that. It's like I understand what you mean, but that is still wild to me that like literal hardware is viewed as that won't make you as happy as losing on a Monday. Like
I don't know why. But those midweek games sit so poorly with people, Josh. Like, it burns people that they lost 3 times to Creighton. It burns people.
It should, right? It's a rivalry.
It burns people that they would lose to Summit League teams, and they think it's about effort and coaching.
Yeah.
And that's where the lack of faith comes from. So, and I mean, and what Dave says is right. They get 2 of those 3 Creighton wins. They're maybe hosting a regional, right?
Well, or maybe
one more, and maybe one more win in the conference.
What was the last midweek loss that was really bad?
South Dakota State.
Yeah, that really. Dave, for those listening, Dave wrote 2 things are true. 1, Bolt's program is improving. 2, they blew a chance to win the regular season and host a regional.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's true. Like, I mean, I thought like where some of my issues were with him was like they followed up that tremendous 2001 season by really. I thought that they not let everybody down. That sounds harsh, but like they took a step back in 2022 and 2023. Like I thought a big step back. And this year, I definitely was an improvement
for sure. Last year,
like they won. They got a dog pile in Omaha, their first conference championship tournament in terms of a tournament win since 2005. Like I don't think that is nothing. And to do so. Especially not just losing the first game, but losing the first game the way that it's not that they lost, it's how they lost.
Mm-hmm.
To come back through that, I think is massive. Like, look, no matter what happens the rest of the year, the midweek struggles will be there going into next season, right?
You'll be mentioned for sure.
Yeah. So they can't. I mean, the only thing you could really do to overcome that would be like make the College World Series. I think we're all in agreement that they're not going to do that. So just becoming a more consistent program, I guess, in that regard.
It is weird though. You get into this NCAA baseball tournament though, and there's always, there's 3 seeds who win the whole dang thing, right? Didn't Ole Miss a couple of years ago as a 3 seed in a regional come out and win the whole thing?
Yeah, and I think a 4 seed made it last year.
Yeah, there's a lot of there's a lot of crazy stuff that happens in this whole thing. So I'm just glad they got it, and like I really like it. I think the other thing about it, Josh, is that I think fans had so much freaking fun when they were good in that, 6-7 year period. And you almost have to get to that point to be hosting those regionals and super regionals. And then you have the College World Series in Omaha to really appreciate that level of fun and fandom and experience that comes along with it. And they haven't done that at all. Like they haven't rewarded the fans with that specific experience.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing there.
Yeah. In a way, it's like a poor man's version of football to like younger fans where it's like, you tell people about what the early 2000s to the 05 team, like what that was like around here, and it's like, it was incredible because it came out of nowhere. It captured the imagination of everybody.
It's weird. Like I watch videos of it, Josh. I obviously was around for it, but it's like, I hardly believe that it was that crazy.
Yeah,
but it was
because it was such a shooting star.
Go watch that Miami series, like that.
Yes, dude, the atmosphere there was insane for those games.
Yeah. It was so fun, right? And they had that regional one year where Creighton was here, like that was crazy, and that was super fun. And obviously the Buck Belcher thing. Yeah, and watch the video of their first game of the College World Series, man. It was crazy. Yeah. Like just that whole thing. It's like you got a taste of something so much fun for a fan base, and it's sort of hard to match that high ever again.
100%, yeah. Because it can only happen for the first time once. So if they're ever able to be good like that again, they would just be compared to those teams, to the 02 or 01, 02, and 05.
Did you see what Bigelow said? There's a group of people around my age whose first memory of Nebraska being good at anything is baseball in 05. Football was in the Callahan era, and basketball was nothing. Yeah. That's crazy.
And do you think that is definitely a part of why they capture the imagination of fans, right? Like their first College World Series is 01. So like football is still humming along. They're about to have really their last great season. 02, it's the summer, it's the spring and summer after 01. So everyone still feels like they're in the throes of things. And by 05, the program had taken enough of a hit in football that like that was, I mean, they were just a monster. And absolutely, and it's like a lot of it was homegrown. You know, tons of major leaguers were on that team. And I think, you know, the further we get away from it and football not ever, you know, doing what we think it can or what we hope it would, I feel like that it helped the baseball program of that time only grow in the estimation of people because it was like the one bright spot for a few years, really.
Yeah. Those were bad. Those were lean. You're right. They coincided with super lean football years. They coincided with lean basketball years for sure. On both of those for the most part. And I think there's a sense of frustration because I think people feel like this is the program most likely to give them those chances to be in Omaha, right? As compared to like it's always interesting to me when we've done this for like 10 years, which will happen first, right? Yeah. Nebraska football wins a conference tournament or a conference championship. Nebraska basketball wins NCAA tournament game, or Nebraska baseball goes back to Omaha. And everyone's always like, probably baseball going back to Omaha.
Yeah.
I think that's been the consensus on that question for 15 years, even as things have gone poorly. And so I think that adds to the frustration when it just doesn't happen, because that's where it feels like you've got the best opportunity, or you perceive the best opportunity to do it.
Yeah. There's a part of me too that wonders, as we've talked it out, is there like this thought, you know, 20 years ago that baseball was about to go on this very similar run to football, and that like it was just kind of going to be the next thing that was always great. And again, everything coincided at this worst case scenario for all of those sports at the same time. And so what people viewed as like, this could be the group that does it. It turned into the group that couldn't do it.
I don't know if those are fair comparisons, but let me ask that question right now in 2024. And if you want to change the endpoints, we can. But what do you take? Nebraska football, is it fair? Winning a conference is different now than it used to be.
I think you could do playoff. You could
Nebraska
say
football making a playoff.
Mm-hmm.
Nebraska baseball making a College World Series. Nebraska basketball making a Sweet 16. How about?
What's the most likely?
What's the first one that happens?
It's funny. I actually think baseball is last now.
They could do it this year.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think I might go hoops. Is that why? Just because it's 2 games.
Football would be last.
Wow, that's crazy. I was debating between football and basketball.
I think basketball, it's hard. I think, man, it's baseball or basketball, but I don't know which.
Jacob said football would be last. Man, and maybe, look, I might be an idiot or drinking the Kool-Aid again, but there's a part of me that still thinks that we're not totally grasping what a 12-team playoff is going to mean, and how different it is going to be, and just how,
come on,
like,
say it.
It doesn't take that. Like, it just takes getting a little bit better. Here comes the edging.
Lay it on me.
Getting a little bit better, man. Just a little bit better. Like, did you read
this year? This year, Josh.
Okay, now, yeah. Put it away. Like, did you read the Athlon thing today? The anonymous coaching survey. Did you read this? Did you see this?
No, I didn't. I wish I had.
All right, here. Well, you know what? I'll read it to you, and I'm sure that it will make you really happy. Let me.
Boy. Okay, now we're to the good part of the podcast.
Yeah. All right, are you unbuttoning?
I'm a recline. Am I unbuttoning? I'm a recline. Oh, that pushed me down. Well, now I'm shorter.
All right, let's see. All right, are you ready?
I think I'm fixed now.
Good Lord, Jack. All right, you ready?
Chair was not okay. Yes.
All right. This website sucks, so I'm just going to take a screenshot and I'm going to leave it as soon as possible because you are amazing right now. All right, this is from Athlon. This is Stephen Godfrey, friend of the Grum, friend of Unsportsmanlike Conduct. Yes,
I like Stephen.
So he did this. This is a variety of anonymous coaches, and it's an amalgamation. And Matt says, please watch the video on YouTube. Yeah, you definitely should. All right, so here we go, Jack. And there's one in particular that I'm very excited to get your reaction in as it pertains to the discussion we were just having. And it's perfect because it's the last one I'll read. All right, first one. There's 6 or 5 of these. They're going to break through this year. It's just a question of how big. They should definitely be bowling.
Yes. Okay.
How do we feel? All right.
Yes. Anonymous Jack agrees with that.
All right. It's all about the quarterback. They've tried to slow play it as much as possible, but Dylan Raiola, clearly their best option, the most talented, the guy who makes the system work.
Okay.
Number 3.
Can we ramp these up like a little bit in intensity with each one?
He's done a great job. Though this is the funniest one. He's done a great job reworking the offensive talent. They're going to have some breakout wide receivers, and they have a really deep group of running backs.
Ooh.
The way we described it was, it's a large pool. They just have a room. It's just a room of running backs. Are we sure that it's deep? I mean, I guess if no one's good, I guess maybe it's deep.
I could be in the running back room, and it would make it
there. We go
in terms of quantity.
Right.
Okay, nothing yet is getting me.
You're not hedging.
It's not getting me to the point I need to be at.
All right. I got 2 more for you.
I was going to be at.
Tony White is going to be a head coach soon, but getting him back for another year is just huge for them.
Okay.
And finally, I thought the shift to the 3-3 worked out really well for them, and they're starting to look like old or legendary Nebraska with the size and talent up front.
Okay, that I like. That's my language.
Look, here's the thing. If they're going to break through and they are going to make the playoff, thus making me right and you wrong in this discussion, it is going to be because the lines are a lot better, a lot quicker than we're expecting. And also, like Dylan Raiola is, as Matt writes, he is him. Dylan Raiola is him, as the kids say. That is how, Jack, it is going to happen. That's how.
All right.
It seemed like you were into that as much as I figured you
I don't know. I guess I had set myself up with some
none of the coaches said this is literally the greatest coach ever.
I had some fantasies in my mind that didn't necessarily come to fruition.
Yeah.
With what that was, I had higher expectations, but it is interesting that you are willing to at least ponder that football might be the first to hit those thresholds that we've set.
Yeah. Definitely.
Because, I mean, like,
Jack, it's like they got to finish 3rd or 4th in the Big Ten Conference. Can they finish 3rd or 4th in the Big Ten Conference?
Yeah. Man, the playoff, though.
I know.
Dude, we're talking about the playoff.
Dude, imagine.
Playoff.
Jack, imagine
playoff?
Jack, imagine it's December and we're doing a show on a Saturday morning, dude. And then you're like, all right, I got to go to Memorial Stadium for Nebraska's home playoff game. Can you imagine that?
I won't even. Christmas shopping, Christmas lights, Mariah Carey's playing everywhere. We're going to a football game.
And you're going to a football game. You're getting your old pullover jacket on.
And they play.
You're getting your radio that you'll listen to on while you're sitting there cheering with your son. Woo!
And instead of playing the Tunnel Walk, they play Trans-Siberian or they play Mannheim Steamrollers version of Carol of the Bells. Or Trans-Siberian Orchestra, yeah.
All right, actually, that's not too bad of an idea. Now, where are they from? Are they from Fremont?
Well, Mannheim Steamroller, the Carol of the Bells one. Listen to that. Think of that. I've always,
I know that song. Yeah.
Since that came out in the 90s, I told my friends, I was like, if Nebraska ever, I seriously said this. I have one of my friends will vouch for me. I was like, they have yeah, but it starts. It's different. It starts with the Mannheim Steamroller one is not as popular. It's different. It's like ding, and it's very quiet, and it's kind of a slow building.
Yeah.
Play it. Somebody play it on like Spotify right now. It'd be amazing as a tunnel walk.
Yeah.
The Mannheim Steamroller. You could do the other one too.
So yeah, there you go. Nebraska's making the playoff.
The Christmas pump up song is a nice cottage industry that we should take advantage of. The Christmas pump up song
at Memorial Stadium for a home playoff game.
In the snow.
In the snow.
In the snow.
Dave Fight says, "How freaking cold will a December home playoff game be?" Yikes! Very cold.
Whatever. It sounds bad until you're playing Tennessee or something. You know.
Oh, that sounds tight.
Oh god,
Miami's coming to town,
bringing us an SEC team.
Hey, look, it's LSU and Brian Kelly coming to the snow.
Yes, they're from Omaha. Yes, Chip Davis is from Omaha.
Yeah, my bad. I said Fremont.
Did you say Fremont?
Yeah, I was thinking of how we would listen to them at family functions in Fremont. I think
the guitarist from Mr. Mister is from Fremont.
Okay, well,
you know I know that because Bishop told me about 90 times.
Because I thought it was just going to be because you know the most random ass facts. Like when we do a Be Kind Husker,
No.
I know. That guy was from a really small town.
Every time now I hear Kyrie now. Kyrie is where the road that I may follow. There's one part when the music drops out and everyone, all I can do, no matter where, is clap over my head. That part of that song.
Dave Fight says UCF in the We Hate Scofro Bowl.
Let's go.
That would be fun. Plus,
Let's go.
I mean,
I'll just say cool. I fully disagree with you, but in terms of the likelihood of this,
I can't believe that you think it's baseball still number one. That is wild.
I think there's like a 12% chance it happens in 2 weeks.
You always are super positive right before you
get 12% chance is not super positive.
Here's the thing, Jack. Baseball would have to win 5 games to make it to Omaha. Basketball just has to win 2 to make it to the Sweet 16. Like, what are we talking
like a million before that too.
Not just like 20. Baseball just won 30 something, so that's more than 20.
I mean, basketball, I don't know. It's probably just my basketball fatalism.
If I would have talked to you the day before their NCAA tournament this year, you would have said way more likely that basketball makes the Sweet 16.
This would be an interesting experiment.
At the bed.
An experiment. And you know how you and John do polls like at the various parts of the football season?
Yes.
Gauge feels like it'd be funny to ask me this same question the week before opening day for each of the sports.
It would be. Put that in. Someone will remind us to ask Jack this in August, and then we'll do the same thing for basketball season in October.
I'm going baseball, basketball, football.
By the way, multiple people literally at the same time. How about that Chatsack? Are we still doing the Chatsack? Sorry that we ended up talking about sports for 40 minutes.
All right, go. Let's go do it. Let's go get the sack out. Not you, Sam. Everyone else.
Jordan writes, where does Gabe Swanson's RBI double on Sunday rank in terms of all-time Husker moments / just Husker baseball?
Oh, man. All-time Husker moments, it doesn't register.
Yeah.
Is that bad? Am I being an ass?
No, Jack, of course not. First of all, we literally just said that them getting to Monday and losing would be like a more memorable thing than them winning the conference for people. So if like that's the answer for most fans, then yeah.
Baseball, I mean, number one is in a game they lost probably when Andy Gertch had that home run against Arizona State. I was at work at the law firm that day. Yeah, I mean, it's maybe in the top. I mean, the Comine coming in and winning the Super Regional, the Rice Super Regional moments. You might squeeze in my top 10 all-time baseball. Maybe. Okay. The time that the guy hit the window out of the car driving behind Buck Belzer.
There you go. Yeah, I don't know where it would be.
I don't know, top 10. Maybe top 10 in baseball.
And Jordan says maybe it's my youth showing, but it's up for me personally. No need to apologize, Jordan.
No.
No need to apologize. Need to apologize.
We had some good times when we were younger.
There were multiple questions about the literal Chatsack logo. We'll move on from those.
Top 10 for baseball overall, probably top 100 overall.
I kind
of agree with that.
Yeah,
that's
I like
probably
that.
About where I am.
Dave Fight says, if you could add any sport, men or women, what would you pick? Don't consider pesky details like budget facilities or Title IX.
If you could do what? I didn't hear that.
If you could add any sport, men or women,
hockey.
What would you pick? Yeah, okay, the better question is which one besides hockey, because hockey is such an easy...
Hockey, men and women, number
but
one.
Real quick, hockey is hilarious because there is this contingent of Nebraska Nebraska football, basketball fans that are also UNO hockey fans. Like one of my best friends in the whole world.
Mavskers?
Who hate the idea of Nebraska having a hockey program. So I think it's kind of funny for those people.
Hockey because of the game experience, John. I'm not even a hockey fan.
It's awesome.
I won't watch a damn minute of the Stanley Cup. Sorry to the hockey fans. I just won't.
Everyone says it's the best playoff.
I've heard. Have you heard Game 7 is the greatest thing in sports? Have you heard they shake hands after it? Yes, I have heard that. I probably
seen this. Have you heard about this?
Yes, I have. That said, a home hockey game sounds freaking sweet. It sounds incredibly fun.
Sam says, I think they should add men's soccer. I would like that'd be cool.
Deal. I would be on my list.
Yeah,
let's see
soccer.
if I were ranking men's soccer. here's a question. I think men's soccer, but I would like to see, I think men's volleyball would be really interestingly received here.
I have a take that I think men's volleyball is weird.
Why?
It's just, I don't know. It's like,
what I can't go and say I think girls wrestling is weird.
I just think it's kind of weird, you know. I don't want to say it shouldn't have the right to exist, but I don't know. Just kind of odd. Bruce says, same, Josh, same. All right, man. Good. I'm happy. Oh, G-Shram, take beach volleyball more seriously.
Beach volleyball? Okay.
Yeah. Jeez, babe, don't be sexist.
Yeah, right? I mean, she said it at least. I didn't want to say it.
I don't, like, it'll be on during the Olympics, and I'm like, nah, I'm okay. I don't want to watch
It's no different than basketball.
No.
It's no different than men playing basketball, which I know you enjoy.
I've been watching men's basketball my entire life. Men's volleyball is weird to me. I'm out.
What other sports are there out there that we could even consider?
I mean, then you could start getting into a lot of like the sure, you could do skiing. What's the one where they Marco Polo, water polo? That would be water polo. People love water polo. That's one of those Olympic sports, Jack, that people always are like, this is the most athletic sport that there is.
Lacrosse.
These are the best sports athletes.
Dave says lacrosse.
No offense, Greg and Lincoln. I think lacrosse sucks.
Some Big Ten schools have field hockey.
Yeah, I had some. I had a class with some club field hockey players. Sam points out that UCLA has a water polo dynasty. It's damn hard.
You know what?
People love.
I'm gonna pass on all of that. I don't want any of those.
All right, hockey. So what did we decide? Hockey and
for me, hockey, men's soccer, and I would say men's volleyball because I'm not sexist.
I'll stick with the first two.
I don't think there's any other. There's a whole lot of other ones out there. Do we watch any other sports on TV? No. Any other college sports of other schools?
Marathon. What if Nebraska had a marathon team? That'd be cool.
Is there a college marathon team?
No,
that would be cool. Do one every Saturday.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Have like big marathon game day, right?
Why don't they do college marathons?
Big noon marathon.
Man,
I would love it. Every weekend you got like a roster.
That sounds fun.
You gotta watch it every Saturday.
Yeah, Brandon says men's soccer would be really cool. It would. Plus, Creighton has a good men's soccer program, so like you could develop a little rivalry there. That'd be fun.
I just am afraid they would just suck. It seems like
they probably would. Creighton would probably.
Creighton went to the national championship.
Yes, Creighton's men's soccer program is very, very good.
Fishing.
No, I'm all good. Your guy Pope Jack says, who dresses better, Jack or Josh?
Oh, God. I'm going to lose that competition to everyone.
All right, cool. All right, we can move on from that one.
I'll lose that to everyone. I mean, I got this shirt at Costco, so I mean,
you love Costco clothes. I was at Costco recently
because they're cheap.
I was thinking about you. I was like, Jack would love to be here.
I pick up a shirt at Costco like people pick up a jug of milk at the grocery store every single trip. Every trip.
True?
It's an automatic buy. Really? I don't leave that place without an article of clothing.
That is awesome.
Well, I mean, and then I come home. And I always do the same joke with my family. I'm like, got a new shirt, and they're like, "Did you get a new shirt?" They see it laying out. I was like, "Yeah, I got it at Costco." I was like, "Bad news. We're gonna have to cut back a little bit for the next month. It cost us $11."
Wow, that is a horrible joke. And you do that every time?
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow. Bruce points out that you wore cargo shorts to guest host USC like 2 months ago. You do love cargo shorts.
No freaking kidding.
No matter the temperature.
I don't think I've taken off cargo shorts for 3 months. So not really a newsflash.
You love cargo shorts. No matter the weather, you love cargo shorts.
Yeah.
10 degrees, cargo shorts. 80
shorts
degrees,
or
cargo
pants.
shorts.
Yes.
Yeah. There's
Kina even. I love it. See, she gets it.
Wow. Shout out to you guys. Do we want another baseball question? No offense, Matt. I'm not trying to skip your question, but there's a lot of baseball today. Are we doing another? You want to do a baseball one?
We could go fast.
Matt says, how impactful was Will Bolt's decision to pinch run in the 9th with 2 outs? It directly led to the first conference title in near 20 years and definitely puts a positive spin to the whole season.
He did it for Columbus, right? Columbus is slow.
Knights of Columbus, that hurt.
Knights of Columbus. Wasn't it for Columbus? Yeah, I think it was kind of an obvious decision.
Sure. I agree with that take.
So it was good. I'm glad he did it. It was impactful. Yes, I agree. Sorry, I didn't mean to crap on that. It sounded like I did.
Jab says you need one Nebraska media member to have a clutch moment in a game. Hit a game-winning buzzer beater in hoops or hit a walk-off homer in baseball. Who are you choosing?
Oh, like a
Nebraska media member.
But it's either of those?
I guess so. Yeah, I don't know.
Because or do I actually go through and figure out who played those sports?
Well, I mean, if you're going to do if you're going to do anything baseball, Damon is the obvious answer because Damon got drafted. He got drafted to play Major League Baseball. That guy, it was really, really, really good. Sam says Nick Grimm. Nice.
He wants to play on my softball team.
Yes, he does. Yes,
and he wore the jersey to work. I saw.
Yes.
I didn't even talk to you about this. I didn't even know.
I just randomly posted it in here. Yeah. My non-Damon answer is Happer because Happer played small college baseball for like a day.
Yeah.
I don't know who is good at basketball. I have no idea. I mean, Dirk coaches. Is Dirk any good?
I mean, maybe. Basnet, I think, played high school basketball at Ravenna.
Oh, Baz, I mean, if we were, Riz points out Nick Bott. Yeah.
Yes.
If Nick is allowed to count, then yes. Bruce points out Adrian Martinez. Yeah, Adrian was the co-host of After Hours with Jimmy Allen for like a month, so he's a media member now.
There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, anyone could be. The entire ticket is former football players. I'm sure they were, good at other sports.
Probably. I have a joke that I want to make, but I'm not going to make it because this is going out to YouTube. It's going out to YouTube.
Okay. All right. Next question.
Bruce says, and Jack, we could maybe use this as more of a discussion point for 2020 if you'd like, because I casually mentioned on the air today, because John and I were having an argument, and somebody said something like, "Wow, you guys are really arguing right now," and I jokingly said, "No, the actual," because John was like, "No, we're not, we're fine," and I said, "Yeah, the time when we actually argued was in 2020," and so that's a long wind-up for this question from Bruce. What type of things would you and John argue over during COVID? Because that is, and I think I've mentioned this before, and I actually think in the aforementioned YouTube video that is now up with John, we might have hit on it a little bit. That is the worst stretch of like our relationship has ever been on the air. It was like the one time where I would leave the show happy to be done with work in terms of I'm happy I don't have to talk to him right now. We were in a pretty low spot. What would we argue about? I mean, I think it was just the pressure of everything was getting to us, and anything that was somewhat political, it seemed like we disagreed. And so it just really, 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 really ramped up sometimes. So it was pretty unhealthy for a little bit. Like there was a couple times where we like actively were screaming at each other off the air and like leave and get home and like send apologies to each other and Stibbs. Like it was a rough few months. It definitely was not fun. Yeah.
Sounds bad.
Yeah. You ever yell at one of your co-hosts?
Yell at one of my co-hosts.
You ever have like a serious argument with one of your coworkers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did. Yes. It was within the last year.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah. So I'm not gonna.
You don't want to say anything. That's fine.
I'm not gonna detail the entire thing. So,
yeah. Dave, what? John's political opinions are different than yours. Shocked. Yeah, it was. It could be. It was a little. It was tough at times, but we got through it, and here we are.
Yeah.
Jordan, he yells at Caleb every Monday when he hits a week.
It was not with Caleb. I'll say that. It was not with Caleb.
Right. Well, let's not keep naming people it's not with, because then we'll be able to figure it out.
You can probably figure it out.
Won't ask or answer that one from Why Not Hoiberg. Matt says, if you could have one piece of gear, anything for free, what would it be, and why do you want it? He says could be a piece of tech equipment, something for a hobby, etc.
Oh, I thought he meant like gear, as in like sports gear. He means
it could be anything.
Just any one thing that I could have?
Yeah.
A million more wishes.
Oh, come on. Boo.
One single thing that I would want. That's hard. Do you know your answer?
I mean, mine was going to be something, some sort of like good running shoes. Such a boring answer.
Mine would be like a mansion, I guess.
No, here we go.
Or like a private jet. Like, do I get anything really?
I mean, he says you could have one piece of gear, anything
what is
for
gear?
Free. I mean, I don't know. Like, I thought about it in terms of like running, obviously, which is something I'm interested in. I have something.
Yeah, I'd like running shoes. Me too.
Matt says a mansion isn't gear. A mansion is not gear. Hey guys, check out my new gear.
That's what I asked at the beginning, but he was like, technology is gear. So I mean,
He says like a new audio interface, a new bicycle. All right,
I have really different things.
I have my answer. Adam, solid gold 50-pound dumbbell. What a hilarious answer. So okay, Happer has the setup now that when I want to eventually upgrade my audio equipment, it is what I want. I want the microphone that he has, and I want one of those audio boards that you can build in sound, so you can.
Yeah. I want one of those Roadcaster, Rode.
That is what I want.
I want that. That's what I want more than anything in the world, but I'd take that.
Yeah. Well, yes, you want a mansion.
I want a PS5.
Why didn't you just say that, you weirdo?
I didn't know a mansion was off the table.
It's gear. Raider Scott says a driver that hits straight.
How are you defining gear?
How do you think a house is gear?
How do you think a soundboard is gear?
It is gear.
I heard gear. I thought he meant like a starter jacket. I thought we were just saying what piece of sports.
Well, we know the answer for you. It's clothes from Costco.
Yeah, yes.
Another new $11 shirt from Costco. Right.
Maybe duplicates of the ones I have just for backup.
Or
if I get stains on them during the day.
Nice. Does that happen to you often?
Sometimes do you ever get a brand new shirt? I've done this a lot of times. And then you wash it the first time and you get it out of the dryer and it's just like there's an oil stain on it from some kind of food that you don't even remember eating. And then you get out the OxyClean or whatever and you just douche the crap out of it trying to get that stain out. You'll wash it and it still won't come out. So
Riss asks, will MJ Melendez ever be able to get a hit again?
Dude, I just was saying upstairs not an hour ago, send his ass to Omaha.
Wow, tough luck.
Send his ass to Omaha with Josh.
Hey, welcome to Omaha.
Thank you.
Let's see. Texas Toast asks, and he's one of our new members. Thank you for joining us.
Shout out Dallas. Dallas is a terrifying city to drive in, but shout out still.
It does suck.
Worst city to drive in the world.
Do you know of any plans to upgrade Haymarket Park? Nebraska baseball has the unique opportunity to be the premier baseball program in the Big Ten and would benefit greatly from upgrading.
Well, that's what they're using the beer money for, Josh.
Yeah.
That was that was what facility upgrades was what finally bridged the gap between the Huskers and the Salt Dogs. Instead of them arguing about the split of the dollars, they said, oh my gosh, I'm watching Isbell for the Royals wearing that lacrosse mask and it's hilarious. Sorry, if you know, you know. Anyway, but they're gonna use some of that, but it's a fair question. They need to.
Yeah.
Right? They definitely need to. Didn't Yogurt negotiate that? No, they had that was when the interim was still doing it, right? The interim president did it.
The beer?
Kaborik. Yeah. Well, I mean, he was quoted in all the stories about it.
Yeah, for some reason I thought Yogurt got a little credit too, though. I can't remember.
Maybe Yogurt swooped in at the end.
Yeah.
I love that we just call him Yogurt.
Mr. Yogurt, I know.
Not even Mr. Yogurt, just Yogurt.
Just Yogurt. Just I've been wondering
why, you know?
I've been wondering, Jack, lately if we're gonna get to the season and there will be all of the, you know how and when we get to football season, there's this whole other audience that just pops into radio and they're like, "Hey, it's football season, so I'm back now to listen." Yeah. And they're gonna hear us refer to, yeah, exactly like you. And they're gonna hear me refer to him as Yogurt, and they're either gonna be like, "That's funny," or they're gonna be actively pissed at me because I'm not respecting him.
Or they're gonna.
I cannot wait.
Right. And and hopefully we don't hire anyone else in the athletic department named Activia or anything, or it's going to get very confusing.
Oh yeah. So Nick cut out a drop from this jingle and it's just like Dannon, and it is so funny. Dannon. So I very much look forward to football season for that.
Dannon isn't even a top yogurt brand right now, I don't think.
Wow, tough look. To answer the question, by the way, I don't know. I would
Coach Shobani. Dude, hold on. Time out before you say anything else.
Yeah.
The demand for yogurt in Lincoln is problematic, right?
Is
now.
It
the
high?
Demand, that damn yogurt fridge area in every grocery store looks like a freaking tornado went through it every time. People love people love their yogurt so much here. I don't know if it's that way in Omaha. I don't know if it's that way where y'all live.
We give Banks yogurt every night. Froyo.
Something is going on with people in yogurt in Lincoln.
Interesting.
It's fine.
Adam says yogurt is awful.
Awful. That's a take.
I used to be into yogurt. I haven't had yogurt in years.
My wife goes
a long time.
My wife has 3 different brands that she gets. I have to when I go to.
Does she get Dannon?
What's the one called like Light and Fit? That might be Dannon. She gets Dannon.
She get Go-Gurt?
Too Good. No, she doesn't get Go-Gurt, but that would be convenient.
It would. I loved Go-Gurt.
And then she gets like a keto one that's like low carb. I don't know what it is. I don't like any of the fruit ones. I get vanilla yogurt. And then I take like Ready Whip and I go and I put it in like a tumbler glass. Maybe put a little cereal or granola in it.
Jesus, this is a parfait now. It's not even yogurt anymore.
It's a healthy dessert.
Yes, it definitely sounds very healthy.
Vanilla. Well, it's still only like, I don't know, 120 calories. It's down like,
that's not bad. To answer the question, I do not know of any.
Here's our new team psychologist, Dr. Yoplay. What was the question? What's the question?
Do we know of any plans to upgrade the stadium? I do not.
Well, like I said, they're doing something. I mean, they're building the money into, but it might just be repair. It's not like a significant upgrade, right? I think it's just small time ones, but.
Corny writes, best and worst week of the year for all the reasons: sports, commitments, weather, etc.
Oh, that's a great question.
Worst week of the year, I think, is the first full week after football ends. Though, you know what? The week.
So after like the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I guess like once you get
by now, you're almost to spring at that point, and it doesn't even feel that bad anymore.
I'm so sad. Like, you know what? Sneaky then, Jack. It might be like though. If it doesn't have to be Sunday to Sunday, give me like Wednesday after the conference championships in the NFL to Wednesday of Super Bowl week. That sucks. That first weekend without football. Dude, when you go, hell, man, that first time, Jack, that there's not a Sunday night game anymore, or even the first time there's not a Thursday night game anymore is like low-key horrific.
Yeah, I mean,
it sucks.
I know there's still decent sports, but it's really hard that first week of January. Or like right after the college football championship is over.
Yeah.
I would say that's one. I have a low-key one that people won't agree with, but I always think the Monday after daylight saving time in November
great one
is a low-key really terrible week.
It sucks.
Sports is still good then though. So
that's the one saving
sports
grace,
saves
right?
it.
Yes.
But that's a terrible one. And then sports kind of sucks in February. So you still could say exactly what you said, Josh. Exactly what you said.
I hate sports in February.
And then I would say there's also a low-key one that's like July 10th.
Yeah, Bigelow says MLB All-Star Game week.
Yeah, that's a great one. MLB All-Star Game is the exact one in the summer.
Yeah, and there's no games on. It's funny too because it's not even about the All-Star Game. It's more about there's just not anything happening. Football training camp is still a couple of weeks away, and then there are literal days without baseball. And so even if I'm not a diehard fan, but it's nice to get home and just turn baseball on, right?
For sure. You know? Even when my team sucks, even last year, it still depressed me.
Yeah.
Last year. Now the best ones, oh man.
October,
yeah, is those combined. And MLB playoff, the MLB playoff and NFL college football weekends are the best, and then because the weather's perfect too.
Yeah, wow. So how about this hot take from Dave? If it wasn't for football, fall would be recognized as the trash season it is.
Get the hell out of here,
Dave. Dude, a hoodie and some shorts. Dude. Oh my gosh.
I think May puts up a tough fight though with October for. If we're just going on weather, I'm probably taking May number 1.
May is awesome. May is the best non-football season month of the year, and I would say it's not even close.
Yeah.
Because like you're finally past with the winter shit and like the weird spring of April and March. The days are super long. Like I can look outside and still see some sky right
now. And actually May sports are okay. Like if you're into hockey every night.
Yes.
In all of May.
Yes.
Right. College baseball, if you're, into that.
Cool.
MLB is going on. May and October are the S tier months. Those are the 2 S tier months. That's those two and those two only.
I like that take.
In my opinion. So
I like that take. Also,
And
I mean, like,
it's about to end in 48 hours.
Yeah, and to go back to Dave's thing real fast, like, it's hard for me not to think about football. Like, that is such an important part of my life, you know? And it's
The
my favorite
weekends are
form
just
of
so good. Like football are the only weekend for me. Football is the prime thing in my weekends, and there is no other sport where that's the case.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%. You plan your weeks around
it defines my entire weekend from Friday night to Sunday.
Yeah.
To Monday.
Yeah. Adam says, what do you think Jeff Sims' rating will be in the new college football game?
That's a great thing to do. I'm taking Arizona State, and I'm going to go win them a natty with Jeff Sims.
I'll say
I'm going to call it Jeff Sims Revenge Dynasty.
67.
He'll probably have a high speed rating.
Sam says 69.
I'll go with Sam.
Nice.
Yes.
Keena says summer is the best season. Spring is second best because it's pre-summer. Fall is third best because it's not as bad as winter. Plus football, winter is the worst. The one, and I think Dave mentioned this earlier too. The bad part about fall is that things are dying and it's almost winter. And like, I will definitely hear that. I like the grass when it's green and I like the trees when they're full.
October is still far enough away.
That is so cool.
See, that's why I'm I get a lot of flack because I'm anti-November because it's so
everything's dying.
Winter. But October doesn't feel like that yet. It's still far enough away where I don't feel the anxiety about it.
I go home after work and the sun is still up like a little bit. Like when I can still walk banks and not have to wear a light is
that week after daylight, the daylight saving day in November, and all the trees just get bare then always too.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. It almost always happens. That's the final leaf pickup. That is a bad. I call that. What did I describe that on the radio when we were talking about it? I called it fall February or something. So.
Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah.
Two more.
Okay.
Aaron asked, Josh, do you know how the frost firing went down? There was a lot of chatter on Reddit that either Larry the Cable Guy or the Pede family were so angry during the Georgia Southern game that they agreed to cover the extra portion of the buyout to fire Frost early. I've never heard that story. I have heard stories about there being this like a permission structure that was granted, but I heard it was actually after the Ireland trip because people saw how he was handling himself. And it was so missing meetings and those types of things. And then the onside kick, less than the Georgia Southern game. I think that Georgia Southern, it might have just been a convenience in that they lost a home game and you were able to do it before Oklahoma. So, but I've heard that the permission structure was more about the loss overseas. I don't know what you've heard, Jack.
Nothing.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I heard that it was a very clearly a crap show going on in Ireland. So
Dave said the Peds are the reason Frost came back for 2022.
Yeah, that was the thing. I assumed they had a pretty good. Yeah, that's the thing I had heard too. So I would be surprised if they were the ones responsible for getting rid of him.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
And then I guess there might be two more because Sam must have asked one that I missed, and Sam, now I apologize. Oh, here it is. Omaha WNBA franchise or 311 concert in the 33rd and Cast sinkhole. Jack,
a single concert in the sinkhole? I don't know.
No,
I'm not familiar with the 33rd.
I think he's asking, would you rather have a WNBA franchise or a concert in the sinkhole? I don't think the WNBA franchise is doing anything with the sinkhole. I think we're getting a franchise.
I'll take the WNBA.
Yeah, I'll take that too. And finally,
I've seen 311 like 4 times, so
I never got into 311.
You're too young.
Yeah. Bigelow asks, who is your greatest what if in Nebraska recruiting history?
As if Nebraska would have got them and they didn't go to Nebraska.
Yes.
It would be what happened if they did get them.
That's usually the what if. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. That's a good question. Bubba Starling is. I know he ended up go there, but the Bubba Starling thing is always interesting to me. Like I know that's kind of a weird one, but
Corey says I'm convinced we'd have won the Natty in 2009 if Gabbert would have stayed committed.
Wow.
I got one for you that is along the lines of that time period. It's Jason Pierre-Paul. He almost went to Nebraska and instead he went to USF. If he would have came to Nebraska, he would have been on the defensive line that had Ndamukong Suh and Jared Crick. So it would have been 3 future NFLers and that was already the greatest defense ever in 2009. Like, Jack, can you imagine JPP rushing folks too? I mean, it wouldn't
have mattered because Zach Lee and the offense wouldn't have scored.
Yeah, so maybe Corey has the answer. Maybe it should be Blaine Gabbert. Maybe it's Blaine Gabbert. But God, JPP
Emmett Smith. Awesome. How about Emmett Smith?
Adam makes the joke that I was wondering if someone would make. We do have fireworks here, though. Yeah, Emmett Smith is awesome. Marshall Faulk. That one is really good. Like, I'll hear the Carl Crawford, but I've never gone all the way on that one because Frank would have been his head coach. So I've never allowed myself to get like super duper excited.
Interesting, the Blaine Gabbert thing.
He was committed to Nebraska.
What about Josh Freeman?
Josh Freeman, that's another good one because he was solid in college.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I forgot about Gabbert flipping. He went on sportsmanlike conduct and said, "I won't pull a Josh Freeman." And he pulled a Josh Freeman.
That was exactly what made me think of that.
Ooh, G-Shram, Gale Sayers. That's a good one. Yeah, for the old heads out there.
Oh, geez. I don't know who was the best. It would be an interesting. I mean, it's a very similar question, and I guess you would go back to the Emmett Smiths of the world and so forth. But who are the recruits that spurned Nebraska where it was close that ended up having the best college careers overall? Like
college careers?
Yeah. I mean, that's basically what we're trying to think of here.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because Emmett Smith, you hear him and you just think of NFL Hall of Famer. Gale Sayers was awesome in college. Emmett Smith was awesome in college. Marshall Faulk was awesome in college. You know, like those guys were all really, really, really good.
Yeah. Marshall Faulk was ridiculous.
Like, can you imagine him behind those offensive lines? Like, what are we talking about?
He was crazy.
What are we talking about?
He's up there on one of those lists, just watching him, he looked different than everyone else. Reggie Bush is on that list for me. On a very short list. Marshall Faulk was. So
yeah, Ben says Faulk was going to come here. Yeah, I don't remember the exact story, but isn't he the guy that they wanted to move to defensive back? I think.
Is that right? I thought it was that big San Diego State money.
Yeah.
Big bag man from the Aztecs.
35 years ago, their NIL operation was nice.
It was 30 years ahead of its time, really.
Yeah, it really was. Yeah, only offered as a defensive back.
Aztec 1890 Collective. Or I guess it would, for the Aztecs, it'd be called the 1390 Collective. I don't know if that's right historically. But
Lamar Jackson from Scott. That's a good one. Yeah,
Lamar, was he thinking about coming here?
Quarterback Lamar. I believe he came in on a visit once.
Yeah.
All right. That was fun. Look at that. We did 30 minutes of hardcore baseball and then Chatsack.
And then 30, and we got it all done. I mean, I think that was a well-executed show in a lot of ways.
That was a whole lot of fun. If you're listening after the fact, we'd love to have you join the IAD Club, patreon.com/IAD Club. We do these shows right now 2 times a week. We do them on Wednesdays, live at 8 o'clock every Wednesday. We do them on Saturday mornings at 9:30 a.m. Both of those times are Central. Football season, we talked about it a little bit earlier at the start of the show. We had some really fun stuff planned.
You ain't going to ever see the Saturday shows unless you join. Live, delayed, ever. And as someone mentioned in the chat, those Saturday morning shows hit different in the fall.
Oh.
When there's a little nip in the air, the Saturday morning coffee hits its stride. And you are going to want to be a part of those at 9:30 on your fall Saturday mornings when you are waiting for Nebraska to kick off. It will get your day going right. We are very excited about those. So join. If you want to be a part of those, you got to join.
Yeah. Jordan says 2014 Miami Be Kind Husker Rewind. Yeah, we are very close. Jack and I are to locking down our summer schedule with vacations and when we'll be out of town. So we will be locking all of that down very soon, and then we can put our schedule together. But yes, we have promised to do the 2014 Miami game in honor of Nebraska, Colorado being picked for prime time.
Brad Kaya.
So that'll be fun. I haven't watched that game since 2014. It's been a decade.
Josh Mitchell has a scoop and score.
Looking forward to that.
I remember that.
Yeah.
All right. And the sad thing about YouTube, the one drawback is we have no pillow talk. So when
no pillow talk,
we end and then we just go away forever. But then we usually type things in the chat. So all right. Hey, thanks for joining us, everybody. Back here. Oh, I still can't do this crap. Back here on Saturday, Josh.
Yep.
Let's go.
Bye.
Bye.